to our data Zen session. Today we will talk about AI agents in Databricks, and my name is Andrei, and I will be hosting this event. And I'm glad to present you Shubham, lead software engineer from EPAM, who will guide us how to build those agents using modern Databricks feature Agentbricks. So Shubham, the floor is yours.
Hey, thanks, Henry. So yeah, let's begin. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. So my name is Shubham, and today, as we were waiting for the most excited and interesting topic, which is building AI domain agents using Agentbricks. So we are going to see in live. So my name is Shubham Shirsode. I'm lead software engineer in EPAM. I have around 10 years of experience in IT field. Uh, I have I'm data engineer from almost 8 years now, and with the Databricks I have been using from last 7 years, and I have done my all required certification as required as a data engineer. So starting from generative AI engineer to the professional one. So I have specialized in designing end-to-end pipelines using Databricks. So yeah, let's jump to the agenda. So today we will start with the problem statement first. Means my overall goal will be like to showcase the use case and how we are going to solve that. Mostly like practical hands-on that we will see today. So the problem statement that we will see first, and of course, as we are going to use Agentbricks, so we will be saying like what is Agentbrick first, right? And then how we will use that. So I will give you the use case. I have created one use case for this demo. We'll see the prerequisite. Of course, we need something that is to be set up to perform this activity, and then we'll jump to the live demo. Okay, and which will take around 30-35 minutes. And then we will see the built-in evolution and the optimization that we need to do, and Databricks performs in the backend and the key takes away. So that's the agenda. And the problem statement, I'm today focusing like this is one of the example, but it is not limited to this one, right? So healthcare, I personally has solved this before that, like I have faced this issue in the healthcare domain. That's why I have picked this particular domain, but this is not limited to this one, like healthcare. So as you know, like in healthcare we can have a lot of unstructured data, like starting from insurance, like notes, we have invoices, lot of uh, data can be there. It can be in PDF format, it can be images, right? So documents, lot of variety of document that we can have as an input. So let's say if we try to do the extraction, so it is long, or like it will take a lot of time, right? And it lot of efforts as well, and it's error prone, and it will slow. So to solve this problem, so we have some business requirement, right? So what will be the business requirement is like to convert this unstructured data health document into the structured one, so that we can do some analysis on top of that. So that's the goal of this demo. Like we are going to use Agentbrick to automate this end to end on Databricks. So that this is the problem statement and the goal of the demo. Okay. Next one is Agentbrick. So as you know, like we are going to use Agentbrick. So what is Agentbrick? So this is a service that has created by Databricks, and the best part is like this is not something like only technical person should be using. Even technical as well as non-technical team can start using this Agentbricks. So you will get that confidence after this demo, because we are not going to do any kind of code today. Even code that gets I will be showing you one pipeline where it generates the code. We just need to like analyze that, but we don't have to do any code with the Agentbricks. So that's a good thing with this feature. Then this is declarative approach. Like Agentbricks, we just need to define our use case, like what you want to do with your data. You just point to your data, and then Agentbrick does their magic in the background. You just need to like improve the improve the, or we can say like training the agents on top of your data by giving some feedbacks. This is what you need to do. If you can see, for now we have like few agents like information extraction, the first one you see, and then we have document parsing, knowledge assistant, supervisor agent, and genie. Each agent is having their own purpose. So in today's demo we are going to pick the first one, which is information extraction. Currently it is in public preview, it is not general available. What does that mean? Like we can't use directly for the production. But the second one, like document parsing, this is in GA now. So it basically it it has all policies and the compliances that we required, and so that we can use it the production. So I'm going to pick the first one, information extraction, because this will solve our purpose, because I want to convert all structured unstructured document to the structured one. And once we create that, I'm going to use the last one, genie spaces, because I want to use that data. I want to do some kind of analysis on top of that data, right? So this too we will be seeing in this today's demo. Okay, I will give you some highlights on the, let's say, supervisor agents, right? So what it does, so supervisor agent is nothing but the creating the multi-agent kind of flow. Like let's say if I am having different type of agents, right, and I want to orchestrate that, I want to call some kind of tool MCP, right? So that all stuff is possible using supervisor agent. So that is not we will see if we get time. I will give a quick demo on supervisor agent as well, but we'll be focusing on information extraction and the genie spaces, the last one. So yeah, so use case. So as we have discussed, like we are going to pick the healthcare data. So I have created, or I have a few PDFs which are like healthcare health invoice document, which is present, like which we will be uploading to the Unity catalog. So Unity catalog is something where you can upload your data, like files, as well as you can create your tables. So we will be uploading this document to Unity catalog, and the objective would be like creating the structured field. Like we want to do some extraction from this data, and we will be using Agentbricks. Okay, so if you see the pipeline stages, so we will be doing the ingestion first, then we will doing the parsing, then extraction, right? And then we are going to store it again into the like in the Unity catalog itself, but as a table, right? Previously we had files, we will convert that into the tables using DLT. And then we are going to use GenieSpace to do our analysis, right? So what is our outcome? It should, like the outcome should be like the clean data table having structured fields, like whatever we will define in our like Agentbricks, that should get extracted. That's the output that we want, right? And as a downstream option, we see GenieSpace, the first one, so which of course we are going to use here. And we can use like knowledge assistant and supervisor agent as well. Like whatever agent that we will create, we can use that in supervisor agent as well. Okay, so the prerequisite. So prerequisite is like, of course, you need a Unity catalog, right? This should be enabled, because we want to make sure that whatever data that we are having, it is governed by, there should be some governance, right? So we can utilize Unity catalog. So this is prerequisite, the very first one. Second one is like we need this public preview enabled from the admin. If we are admin, then we can enable this, right? And third one is like budget policy should be non zero budgets. Okay, and currently this Agentbricks is in like two region only, like US East 1 and US West 2. So this is growing rapidly, so this is not limited to two. In coming days we will see multiple regions. Okay, and of course we need a few documents so to move on. So that is a prerequisite. Okay, so I have categorized this into four step. Like demo will be like, first we will be doing the ingestion, then we will be using information extraction agent, right? So we will see how to create the information extraction agent, and then we will see we will define our schema, like what field or we want to extract from this field of extract from this document. So we'll define that schema, and then we will see whether the output is as per expectation or not. We will do some kind of training there, retraining there by giving the feedbacks, and then we are going to deploy that particular agent, and then we will using Genie. So that's the plan for this demo. So now let's jump to the demo. So let me change my screen. So I will be opening Databricks here. So the first thing is like we need to upload our data. Okay, so you need to first go to the catalog. This is storage, and here first thing, if you don't have catalog, you need to create by going here and create catalog. Okay, and miss I have already created, so let me just search that. Okay, so this is my catalog. Here the second thing that you may need to do is like creating the volume, because we need to upload our input PDF files, right? So here you can go here and click on the volume. So by clicking here you can define whether it is managed by Databricks itself or you want external, so that you can define here and you can give name. So as you can see, I have already created the volume here, this one. So I'm going to upload a folder here. I have few documents, like around like 50 PDFs that I have. So you just need to click on the upload to this document, upload to this volume, and you will see here. Let me just select the folder. So I'm selecting this folder. Okay, now you see it has selected all the files and it's performing upload now. So all of the PDF, this is all invoice document that we are having. Okay, so we are having this PDF in place, input document. Now the second part is like creating the agent on top of this input files. Now on the left panel, you need to go to the agents. Here you will see a lot of agents as we discussed in the previous slides. So you see supervisor agents is there, information extraction, and a lot more, many more. So we are going to see the second one, the information extraction. Okay, and once we create the agent, we are going to use the Genie space to create our chatbot. Okay, on top of our data. So let's click on information extraction. Okay, so here you need, either you can upload file here or we can select the volume. So this is the volume that we just created and we have uploaded data to. So you can click. So this one, this is the folder that we have just created and it is having all files. So it is validating. We have around like 40 or 50 documents, and click on create agent. So meanwhile it gets upload, I have actually created slides so that we can save our time. Okay, so this is done. So as you can see on the left hand side, we have something input box where we may need to define our what extraction you want to build. So this is the interesting part, and the good thing is here is like you just need to provide the natural language. You don't need to do code, right? So here you will see all the files that we have just uploaded, and you need to tell agent what fields you want to extract. Okay, so currently it is processing the files. So until it process, I have slides to show you. So we have done with this. Okay, so we have clicked on this, uploaded. Okay, now you will see something like this there. Yeah, so currently it is parsing, you see. So it has picked 5 files. As you can see, top 5 file it has picked, because out of this file we want to do like we first want to agent know like this is the file, this is what schema, this is what all fields that we want to extract. Okay, so here you can write, like let's say first you need to click on this file to understand what kind of file it is, right? So by the way, this file whatever I am showing, this is publicly available. So I have used Kaggle. From Kaggle I have downloaded that, so there should not be any issue with this PI data. So first you need to understand what fields that we are having. So how I have categorized it, like I have divided into the block. Like first block you see, this is seller, this is second block I have categorized as a buyer, and all stuff like the table one. So this is all the extraction that I want to do. Okay, now here either you can go with any text, but here, the good thing here is like how good your prompt is, then only it will create some beautiful schema, right? So let me just copy the prompt here and put it here. So you see what I have written here: extract all the fields and table from the provided invoice in PDF, right? So I have categorized into the blocks. So first one is like seller and buyer details. Second one is the invoice order details, and the third one is the table. So I want to extract all the fields, right? So this is what the command I have given to the agent. And I want to like there is another thing, like let's say if it is missing, then consider it as a non-available. So this depends on like whatever your requirement is, but the important part is this one. So what you want to extract. Okay, once you give the prompt here, so you need to click on generate schema. You can go it with the manual as well, but the recommended approach is this one, like click on the generate schema. So let me click and wait. Okay, you see on the left hand side we have the blocks A. If I scroll down, we have block B, right? So whatever instruction that we have given to the agent, it has extracted that particular, it has basically built the schema, not extraction, it has built the schema. You can even check the JSON. You see there is toggle button. JSON, we can verify whether it is as per our expectation or not. Okay, if you see, if you find that this is not the correct one, like let's say seller name, I don't want this name, you can just edit, you can change the field name, and you can even field the type. This is all supported type that we are having currently in Agentbricks. So you can alter all this. Okay, you can give the proper description, like what is this particular field, right? And as you can see, we have 5 files for now, because we are going to train based on this 5 file. So if I click here, so you see the extraction. So this is raw extraction that has been done by agent. And now what we are asking agent to do, so extract this block A seller and the seller name. You see seller name would be this one, then phone number, right? Seller phone, seller address, then GST number. All these details we have specified here. So then what I need to do? So let's say we are good with this schema. You have validated the JSON and UI, and you just need to click on the save and run extraction. So what it will do, the center part that you see, it will perform the extraction with the JSON that we have provided, with the schema that we have provided, and it will do the extraction on the right hand side. You will see in few minutes. So I have prepared the detailed step-by-step PPT so that you can follow this and try by yourself. So as you can see, we have covered this particular step. We have given the schema and we have click on the extraction. So now you will see, if you see the right hand side part here, so this kind of response you will see in, yeah, you can see here. So this is the first response for the first PDF. You see, first, and we have total 5. So here you need to cross check, like whatever field that I ask agent to do the extraction, whether it is correct or not, whether it is let's say if I can see the buyer address, whether it is correctly extracted or not, right? So such manual check you need to do by yourself, and you need to give the feedback. You see, either yes or fix it. if you if you see there is some issues, right? So let's say I will click on the fix it. You will say, let's say, mm, uh, this field is not as expected. I want to get this much of field, not whole. So you can give such instruction to the agents, and you just need to save it. Okay, so for now I don't see any issues here. It has extracted all correctly. Okay, so I can click on S. So this is for the first document that we have done. You see, 2 of 5. So same way, we need to train our agent in such a way that the extraction, whatever it agent has done, it is correct or not. So we just need to either S or fix it. So for now, I will go with the S. Okay. Okay. Now we have provided the feedback. We are good with the extraction, and then we need to click on the as update the agents. Okay, so what it will do, it will start performing extraction for all the document that we are having in our Unity catalog. Okay, so this will take a little time, so let me jump to the next screen here. So we have provided the feedback and we have clicked on the extraction. So the extraction is in progress right now. So once this is done, so extraction has been done. Now we need to create, either we can go with the, you can click right hand side, you can see use agent button, right? So you need to click there. So you will get two options. Either you can run it in SQL, either you can create Spark declarative pipeline. So we will go with this Spark declarative pipeline in this demo. So why we are going with this Spark declarative? So let's say if today I'm having 50 documents in my storage and tomorrow I'm getting, let's say, 20. So my pipeline should not process all 70 tomorrow, right? So there should be, it should fetch only 20 documents, right? So the incremental things that we want to implement. So hence we are going to use Spark declarative pipeline, right? So we will be clicking on create pipeline button. So this code agent will create automatically for us. Okay, so I will explain you each and every line here. So let me see the status, what is current status. Okay, so this is done. Now I'm clicking on use agent as discussed, right? So this pipeline that we are going to create, so we can schedule this daily so that it will run daily, and you should not worry about, so it will fetch all the latest files daily and it will do the it will create from unstructured to the structured one. Okay, so let me click on the create pipeline. Okay, you see now how we are going to categorize this. Like I will divide this into two. So if you can see this first block, so it is creating the first table, which is parse, right? This is the name that has given. We can change this, but first thing is doing, like what agent is doing is doing the parsing. You see, this is the path where we have stored our PDFs, like input health PDFs, right? So it is reading from that particular path. You see, read the files and perform the first extraction, right? Like parsing of the document. So you see, this is the inbuilt function that Databricks has created. So we can't change this AI parse document. So this is the function that we need to use, and it will prepare the two columns. In this table, we will see what will be the content, but for now, just focus on code. So it will create this content and the parse, right? And the second part, what it is doing. So the first table that it has created, so it is going to use as an input to the second part. Let you see here. So we have created one stream table, right? Parse table, and the parse table would be the input for the second code. What this code does, so it performs the extraction. So whatever schema that we have given, right? So this schema, you see, this is given by our side, right? So we have given the prompt and it has created some JSON schema. So this is the schema that it is basically considering for the parsing and extraction, and here it is using AI extract function. Okay, once this is done, means once you validate all the stuff are good, then you can click on the run pipeline button. Okay, so this is the Spark declarative pipeline that we have in place, and you can monitor that from jobs and pipeline here in this section, and you can click on this particular as well. So it will redirect you to the pipelines. So you see, automatic all step it is getting created by agent, right? So this will take around 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, I will show you over the slides what it will happen. So as you can see, first it will do the parse and then it will do the extraction, right? So we are going to create two streaming table, and once this pipeline is completed, our extraction, like the first part of our demo, is complete. Like we had input invoices which is in PDF format. It can be any other format like image. So we had this PDF and we have converted into the delta table, like structured format. Okay, I will show you that in some time, like once this particular pipeline completes. So we will go to the catalog and we'll see like what it creates actually. Okay, So yeah, you will see something like this two once the extraction completed, and this is the second part which we need to we will jump there in some time. Okay, so let me meanwhile search the our catalog name. I see here health document, and the table it will create this one, these two. First will be the parse. Ignore the first two. This is the older one that I was trying. The last two that you see, the first parse table is getting created by our pipeline, streaming pipeline, and the second would be the extraction. If I click here, you see currently it is running, right? So meanwhile it runs, let me show you the data from the older version of my demo. So as you can see, so first parse it has created two column. Okay, so what data it is having? Okay, let me just enable this data warehouse. Okay, you see against every PDF, you see the path against every PDF it has parsed something. Let me just expand it. So we'll see it has given its coordinate, what content it is having, right? Their value. So this is what the parsing has been done. But this is not readable to us, right? So that's why we are doing the extraction on this on top of this parse. If I show you this, so the first will be the parse and then extraction, right? So this is the parse that we have just seen. Now let me click on the extracted. Okay, so here you see content and response. So again, let me click on sample data here, so you will get good idea. So we had this content, right? So we have just seen like in the previous table we had this kind of parse which has done. Now we have done the extraction. Let me just expand it. So you see there is error message null and the response that we are getting. So we have this is human readable response that we are getting now, right? So block A contains buyer and seller information. Block B contains build by and all details which we have given to the agent at the time of training, and this is block C, right? So all it is structured data that we can see, and this is the delta table that we are having in our catalog. Okay, so let me check the status. Yeah, this is done. Okay, so here you can schedule the pipeline so that it will run every day, right? So this is the pipeline that we have created. Now as I mentioned, the first part has been done. Now we need to use this data so that we can do some analysis on top of this, right? So how to do that? So let me go back to the previous or agent page. Let me click on the agent here in the left hand side and click on the create agent. Okay, now you see we had used the information extraction to perform the step that we have just seen. Now we need to use that, right? So I will click on Genie space. Okay, so it will open this page. So I will click on new, right? Here you need to select the table which you just extracted, right? So let me click on all and let me search for my catalog name. Let's say health, and I see this is my catalog name and the date, this one, right? 1613 is this is the time that we have just. So you need to select the last table which is extracted table, right? So on top of this data, this table, you will be creating your chatbot, right? So let me just click and click create. Okay, so our agent is ready. You can give some proper description and name here. You can validate it. It has given some recommendation. So let me just accept it. Okay, now let me ask some question to this agent that we have just created using Genie space. So give me distinct buyer use let's say GST column. Let's check like what it does. So we have huge data, so it will analyze all the fields that we have extracted, and even it will write something here like, so I will query the table to find the distinct. So whatever he is thinking, we can cross check here, right? Sometimes it may happen like, so GST column, by the way, it is not present with this name, it is having some different name, but still it will analyze like what can be the actual column name that we are having in our table, and it will uh, fetch the data from there. So you see, what it is saying, like, let me try. So there was a field name that he has analyzed and found out from our data. Okay, he's saying no, buyer use column form. Okay, so we will go back to the agent that we have created, and we'll see that what's the uh, column name. So let's say I want to, yeah, let's check with this. Please consider this column and give me distinct of all buyers. Let's see now. So whatever is happening with this is happening with our data. We had a PDF which is unstructured, and see, now it has given the three. We have total three distinct buyer GST. So now we can ask, like, let's say how much total uh, amount of purchase has been done by each buyer. Let's ask this question. So we'll get all. Okay. So the goal, what we were trying to do is, it looks like we are solving that, right, using Agentbricks. So now we have the agent, like chatbot, in place where you can ask the question, and it is not something that you can just use chatbot here, right? You can get it deployed, and you can use REST API to fetch the details. Even you can use the SDK as well, as it is supported by this Genie space. You can use, and you can call this, whatever I'm writing here, right? You can call from any other system. So you can integrate this particular agent from any other system. Okay. So until this gives you the output, let me jump to the next slide where I want to cover the last few topic that is remaining for our today's demo. So the built-in evaluation and the optimization, what it does. So we have seen, like, we have used information extraction, and it is built on this AI extract SQL function that we have just seen in the pipeline. So this is currently in public preview, but in few days I feel like it will be in GA. Then we can use for the production. But the good part is, like, the other one was in GA. Currently, it is HIPAA compliant, so that we can use for the healthcare. Like, it is compliant, like whatever SLA that we have, it will not change in case of GA. Okay, so the second point is, like, uh, this will do the optimization, extraction on defined schema, like whatever we will define, and we don't need any model deployment or no code, right? We don't need to do any management. You can even check the output. You can retrain it if you find like this is not a good quality output that I'm getting. So this is schema driven quality that it has, right? So you will just provide some natural language, it will auto generate the schema, and then it will give you the proper name description, right? So we have almost completed with this demo, and we can even manage the version. Let's say if you find that this is not good enough, you find that previous one was the good, then you can roll back to the earlier version. So that is another good thing about this agent break. And the data deletion, like if you delete the data, if you delete the agent, so all the data checkpoints, it will automatically delete. Okay. Okay, so what we have achieved? So we have achieved, like, end to end, that we had a PDF unstructured from to the structure that we have achieved using Agentbricks. There was no code that we have used here, right? Automatically, it generated automatically from start to end. So if we compare with the manual extraction, which might takes like hours of task, we have now converted it into the minutes, right? In few minutes, right? We have just completed end to end pipeline. So let's say if today you are having like 50 document, 100 document, and if in future if you are getting like thousands of documents, so you just need to change the point to the volume path, or you can use same volume. The same pipeline we will be using for the extraction. So there is no other extra effort that you need to put, right? So this is another thing. And the useful link means whatever I have referred to prepare this demo I have added link here, and you can utilize to go through. Okay, let me check the status of the our. Okay, great. So as we have seen, there were total three distinct buyer, right, with this GST number. So each one has done some kind of purchase, right? So you see, even this is beautiful graph that agent has created, which you can just download and share with across. Like you can use in your PPT. Let's say if you are data analyst, so you can monitor like how much sale or how much purchase against each this GST. So the ultimate goal is like you can do the analysis as per your requirement based on this agent that we have created. So you can sense the how much effort that we are reducing, like from manual to by automating this, right? So we had just PDF, and now you can just query it, right? So that's it from my side, and I think, yeah, please let's jump to the some question answer session now.
Thank you, Shubham, and it was a great demo with many real life examples and some artificial data shown grabbed from Kaggle, so everyone can play with it, take this data set and try to build its own agent. And also thank you all who joined our session today, and let's switch to Q&A session. We have a lot of questions in various channels. So yeah, Databricks is a great platform, and it became more and more popular. Apart from standard features which it offers, like decoupled storage and compute, Unity catalog. Now we also have how to say full-size AI features ready to use in
Right.
production. In few days, maybe it will be ready for production, but now everyone can play with it. So let's pick the first question. What about visibility and monitoring? How does Agentbricks leverage tracing to capture the intermediate reasoning steps and tool calls to an agent? And can these traces be indexed for post-incident audits?
Yeah, we have. Let me share that one. So using, if you see this particular experiment, so here from here we can basically we are going to use MLflow. It will be having inference table in place, like when we are getting the request, all in and outs will be logged into that particular table. So all such details will be present, and we will be using that particular tool to solve our purpose. So let me just, so here you can see. So you can even train here, you can see the stresses for your agent, right? Uh, if you can train on top of your data set, let's say if you have specific data set, you can label it and you can train it. So such thing we can use. You can define versions as well. So there are, to answer your question, we can trace it and use this particular.
So full tracing is available, and we can analyze all those traces again
Right.
using
Yeah.
another AI agent, maybe.
Right.
It's another use case we can implement. Okay, thank you, Shubham. Let's switch to the next question. What about pricing? Is it per token or subscription tier?
Yeah, it is token wise. So currently the information extraction that we have used, it is having like around 128K token as a context size. So we can't exceed that. So that means around like 300 pages of document that we can pass in a single document. Okay. So let me, the pricing is, let me show you that one. Okay, do you see here? Let me select Azure, and here we can select this one. Okay, so as you can see, we have like this AI extract, right? So this is Databricks unique, right? That we are having, and this is the price in dollar for that particular. So in a way, like what I understood, the billing wise, we will be having around $1 to $2 for 1,000 of images. Or let's say if we are having PDF with the 1,000 different pages, then it will cost you from $1 to $2 if you use this agent brick.
Mhm. So we can count number of documents we need to process and estimate the price.
Right here you can see even you see AI extract. Let's say for invoice with one page, right? It will cost you like $2 to $4, right? So this much of
Mhm.
costing it will have.
I see. Thank you. The next question: does it use traditional OCR logic or pick-to-text LLM?
Yeah, it is not traditional. Of course, it is having LLM in the background, which is running. But yeah, as a Databricks Agentbricks user, we don't have that clarity like which it will be using. So we have this platform in place. We can't do a modification to that, let's say LLM, which is using the in the background.
Mhm. Okay. The next one: does Agentbricks need active UI layer while extracting the case shown? I mean, does this agent have to interact with user interface to parse the documents? I think
Active
the
UI
question
layer.
is about, can we have a job which runs in background and which does not require UI at all?
Yeah. This UI is optional, right? As I mentioned, we can use SDK.
Mhm.
Databricks provides SDK. We can use REST API as well to interact with this. Let's say if you need to create, you have created this Genie space, right? And you need to create a new conversation. So we can use SDK as well as REST API. It is not something we have to use this UI only.
Mhm. And it allows to have a full CI/CD cycle
Yeah.
for agents. Yeah, great. Thank you. The next one. Which models does Databricks use underneath?
Yeah. So this is owned by Databricks itself. It is not something that we will be knowing. It is managed by completely managed by the Databricks. So we don't have the clarity which underneath it uses maybe some cloud or maybe some. So it is
Mm,
combination of all basically. So we don't have that information.
I
But
see.
there is
Because
something, some ways.
when we open background tab, there are many models available, but here we don't
Right.
know which
Yeah, but
exact
it
model
is not
to choose.
something that we have to use this Databricks model only. We can create our own. Let's say, let me give you one example here. If I go to the agent and create agent, let's say supervisor agent, so I can select here. So which one you want to select? You can use Genie space. You can use agent endpoints, right? You can use another one. So we have like we can use MCP as well. So we have the provision to create this. Let me just show you. Okay, so let's say foundation models is like from Anthropic, OpenAI, right? So we will be selecting from this page, right? Which model you want to go with, right? And then we can use this as a multi-agent in our uh, the previous one that I had shown. See, we have multiple options here to select. We can enable all these traces. The first question that you have, someone has asked, like inference table, uh, guardrail, right? Rate limit. Let's say how many requests you want to come to this particular agent in particular time. Let's see if I click here, you see this many of limit on endpoints that we can pass. So this thing that we can do the customization.
Mhm. Thank you. The next question is how to handle modified documents after the data was extracted.
How to handle modified documents after extracted. Okay, so extraction has been done and you need to uh,
And you got an update for some document and you need to re-extract and update this data in the target table.
yeah, that's why we have created the pipeline, right? If I show you in the jobs and pipeline, so this will be the incremental one, right? So it will fetch only such document which are new to the storage. it will not pick the old one. So we don't need to worry for that. So this pipeline.
So if
So
a
this will make,
document will be updated, we will get a new file, right? And this file
yeah,
will be fed into
right. So
the
this will,
agent.
let's say, if it is running tomorrow, so it will fetch only new files, not the one which already processed, for which we have done the extraction. It will not fetch again. So this is the purpose that we are having this pipeline in place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we should carry by ourselves how to update this updated rows in target table. The
Yeah,
agent
target
will
will,
process only new files, and then
right,
we have to have some extra logic
right,
to assert this information correctly. I see.
right.
Thank you. The next one. It seems that we pass the data containing sensitive information as is in plain text. Does this mean we have a potential PII leakage problem when using this approach? This would be a serious issue when working with data containing sensitive information. Yeah, it's about
Right.
compliance with
Complaints. Yeah.
all those standards like GDPR and so on.
Right. So as I mentioned, the information extraction that we have use, so that is currently in public preview. So that means it is not production ready. But the other one, which is document parsing, right? You see this major update right here. So document parsing is in GA, right? Generally, general available. So what does it mean? So it means like it is following all the complaints. So it will do the encryption of the PI data. It will follow the SLAs. It will support the productions, right? So it is not something, and Databricks doesn't store all these files in their, let's say, in metadata. So where we have provided the Unity catalog, right? So it is governed by, like, we will define like what all users we want. Like users will update or use that particular storage. So at the time of processing, Databricks will not store any intermediate data in the metadata, and it will delete once it is processed. Like uh, what I mean, let's say if we are deleting the agent, so it will not store any data in the Databricks side.
Mhm. Yeah, but apart from Databricks storage, there is an agent with LLM under the hood, and if we feed PII data into an LLM,
So we can
it
enable,
will process it somewhere outside
right,
of Databricks. So I think this um,
right,
stage is the most dangerous one, because in
right.
Databricks, yeah, we can set up permissions and hide some PI columns and so on and so
Hmm,
forth.
right. Maybe that's the reason, like information extraction is not a GA, right? That's why it is in public preview currently.
Hmm.
So because let's say if you are having tool which is calling, let's say, some website, so it may publish this data there, and so this can be data leakage. So I think currently it is in public preview, but in some few days I think it will be they will fix something on top of this. So there is a gap with this data, let's say PI
Hmm.
data.
Probably Databricks needs to sign some agreements with model
Right.
providers to
Correct.
isolate such models in some environment and guarantee that PI data will not go outside of
Right.
this isolated environment. Then we can use it and be sure that we are respecting all the laws and rules.
Mm.
Okay, thank you. The next question: can we use REST API with the agents? I think you
Yep.
already
Of
answered
course.
it
Yeah.
before.
Yeah. We can use it.
Mhm. The next one: how does it optimize token usage or API calls? Can we set an objective to prioritize cost optimization in this agent?
So no, it will of course depend on how much of context that you are giving, how much of query that you are, let's say, what kind of level of query that you are asking. So it will depend on that. If you are having small query, then it will, of course, it will not take the lot of context or token context, right? So it's depend on how or what requirement we are having.
Mm-hmm. I see. Thank you. And another question: All those invoices shown today were created by one company. Of course, it's artificial data set, but they all have the same format. And the question, what if files are different and coming from different sources and different maybe languages? Will
So
this agent be able to process all
so
those
currently
deviations
it
from
is.
standard format?
Mhm. Yeah, we can have a multiple like different format. We can, that's why we can train it, right? Use we just saw like we can give some feedback like which particular field we want to extract from such kind of structured document. If we are having this kind of, let's say, structured, so that kind of thing that we can do, but it is limited to the English only, that the text should be written in English, that only we can do the extraction.
Hmm. And here you shown an example for PDF files processing. And is it support any other formats and handwritten texts?
Yes, like we have like all text file that it supports, and for the complex one like doc, PPT, and this PDF, this is supported.
Hmm. Okay. Okay, I think that's it for today. We don't have any other questions. Thank you very much, Shubham, for this great demo, for this fruitful discussion after the demo. And thank you all who joined our session today. Please don't forget to rate this call on our community page and give speaker a badge if you like this talk. And thank you once again.
Thank you everyone, thanks for joining, have a great day, bye.
Have a nice day. Bye bye.